Welcome, chosen ones, to this transformative journey. If you've ever felt like you're waiting for something bigger to happen in your life, then you're exactly where you need to be. In today's video, we're diving deep into divine timing, spiritual breakthroughs, and the incredible transformation that awaits you. The universe has aligned this moment for you right now, and everything you've been praying for is closer than you think. So, if you're ready to step into your divine purpose, to unlock the mysteries of your true potential, then make sure you stay with us through the entire video. It's not by accident that you're here. God's plan for your life is unfolding now, and you're about to witness miracles. Chosen one, I want to speak to you today, not just as someone guiding you through words, but as someone who has been called alongside you on a divine journey. What you are about to hear is not by accident. This moment, this message, has been divinely orchestrated. The very reason you are reading or listening to this right now is because you were meant to hear it. God has been preparing your heart for this revelation, and you may feel a stirring inside you. Something you can't quite explain but know is deeper than just coincidence. You were drawn here by divine appointment. There's a reason why you're feeling uneasy lately, why your spirit has been unsettled. It's not just a coincidence. God is at work in your life in ways that you might not fully understand yet. That uneasy feeling? It's a divine pull. Something significant is unfolding, and your awareness of this moment, your connection to it, is God's way of drawing you into His perfect timing. He is calling you to listen, to be still, and to receive this word, for it is meant to shift the trajectory of your life. I understand that life can sometimes feel overwhelming, even disorienting. You may have felt that tension, the sense that something is about to change, even if you don't know exactly what that change is. Maybe you've been feeling disconnected from your purpose or uncertain about the future. You might feel as though you're standing at a crossroads, unsure of which way to go. That's not an accident. Heaven is aligning you right now. You're being called to pause, to be still, and to receive divine guidance for the next step in your journey. For some time now, God has been working behind the scenes, repositioning you. Even though you may not have seen it clearly, your life has been moving toward a divine shift. God is realigning your path and preparing you for what comes next. But before you step into that next phase, there's one thing you need to do. Remain calm. The uneasiness, the stirring you feel, is God's invitation to realign with His purpose. It's the nudge to move away from distractions, doubts, and fear, and to listen closely for the still, small voice guiding you. I know how easy it is to feel overwhelmed by the chaos around you. There's so much happening in the world, so many things vying for your attention, and sometimes it feels like everything is falling apart. But in the midst of the noise, God is calling you to remain calm. You are not meant to panic. You are meant to trust. The feeling of urgency you've experienced recently is not a random burst of anxiety. It's God waking you up to something bigger. It's time to recognize the spiritual shifts taking place in your life. This moment, this message, is part of that divine unfolding. Psalm 37:23 says, "The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and He delights in His way." Your steps are ordered, chosen one. The fact that you are here, reading or listening to this message right now, is a divine appointment. God has been preparing you for this season, for this shift, and He is calling you to stand still, to reflect on where you've been, and to recognize where He is taking you. I know there may be doubts in your heart. You might wonder, why me? Or, what is this all about? These are normal questions. We all have them at times, especially when we face the unknown. But let me remind you, this is not a random moment. You have been handpicked for this time, for this message, and for the divine path that lies ahead. God's timing is perfect, even when we can't see it. The moments that have led you here were not by chance. Every twist and turn, every delay, every obstacle has been part of God's plan to bring you to this exact point. I believe you felt something stirring in your spirit, like a deep awareness that something important is on the horizon. It's that sense that what you've been waiting for, praying for, or hoping for is about to come into fruition. That feeling is not just your own intuition, it's the Holy Spirit gently guiding you to recognize this divine appointment. It's time to stop questioning your path and start aligning with it. But the call to calmness is not just about peace for the sake of peace, it's about clarity. God needs you to remain calm so that you can hear Him clearly. In this season, your spiritual clarity is crucial. The direction you are about to take requires your full attention, your full trust, and your ability to remain centered in His peace. As you go through this process, I want to challenge you to quiet the noise. Look inward, not outward, and hear God's voice speaking to your spirit. He is preparing you for the shift. He is positioning you for breakthrough. There is an urgency in the air, yes, but it's not an urgency that should make you anxious. It's the kind of urgency that calls you to move forward with confidence, because you know that God is with you. You know that He's been working, even when you couldn't see it, and now He's bringing you into the fullness of His plan. This season requires you to trust His timing, trust that what is coming is for your good, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be right now. Even the struggles you've faced, the moments of doubt, have been part of your preparation for this moment. I know it's not always easy to remain calm. Life has a way of testing our peace, but I want you to understand this. God's peace is a powerful shield. When you remain still in His presence, when you choose to trust His plan even in the midst of confusion, that peace surrounds you and guards your heart and mind. The more you stay calm, the more you align with His will. The more you align with His will, the more you will see things fall into place in your life. This is not the time to rush, to fret, or to take matters into your own hands. This is the time to align yourself with the divine flow. God is calling you to trust that He has your path already laid out before you. His plan is bigger than anything you can imagine, and in order to step into it, you must be still, quiet, and ready to listen. Chosen one, as we continue on this sacred journey, let's delve deeper into the understanding of this divine appointment. The divine timing unfolding in your life is not just about the here and now, it's about the broader picture, God's plan that has been in motion long before you ever realized it. This is more than a mere alignment of events. It is the culmination of everything God has been working in and through you. The path you've been walking, even in the moments of confusion and doubt, has been divinely designed to lead you here to this revelation, to this moment of clarity. I know it may feel like there's something stirring in your soul, that sense of unease that you can't quite shake off. That feeling, chosen one, is a divine nudge. It's God calling you, gently waking you up to something deeper than what you see with your natural eyes. This unease, this inner restlessness, is not by accident, it is a prompting of the Holy Spirit. Heaven has been aligning things in your life for this moment of awakening, and now it is time to answer the call. It's important to recognize that this call is not one of urgency in the sense of panic or rush. It is a call to alignment, to tune your heart and mind to God's perfect timing. The rush you feel inside isn't a call to hurry through life's transitions, but a reminder to pay attention, to stay aware, and to prepare for what God has set in motion. God doesn't act in haste. He acts in divine timing, and His timing is always perfect, even when it feels slow or confusing to us. Have you ever wondered why certain things have taken so long to manifest? Why some doors have remained closed, while others have opened only to close again? Let me assure you, nothing has been wasted. Even the waiting periods, the delays, the unanswered prayers, they have all been part of God's perfect timing, preparing you for what's to come. God is aligning every detail of your life, even the ones that seemed like setbacks. Everything is working together for your good, and every moment has been strategically positioned to bring you closer to this divine appointment. In Ecclesiastes 3:11, we are reminded, He has made everything beautiful in its time. Your life is unfolding according to God's perfect design. There are things you might not understand yet, but I want you to know that this divine timing isn't about your understanding. It's about trusting that God knows exactly what He's doing. He's been working behind the scenes, aligning things to your benefit, and the time for the next chapter is now. This is the moment when all the dots begin to connect. You are standing on the threshold of a shift that will bring clarity, breakthrough, and a deeper understanding of your purpose. But the key here, chosen one, is your response to the call. God is not just calling you to wait passively. He's calling you to respond. Your response is crucial in this season. The waiting has not been wasted, but the waiting season is over. This is the season to act. God has been preparing you, shaping you, and aligning you for what's coming, and now you must choose to step forward with faith and confidence, knowing that He has gone before you. In Psalm 32:8, God says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." This divine instruction is not always loud. Sometimes it comes as a gentle nudge, a quiet whisper in your heart. It is in stillness that you will hear God's guidance most clearly. As you remain calm, as you stay rooted in His peace, you will begin to sense the next steps. Steps that may not always make sense to those around you, but steps that are perfectly aligned with God's will for your life. You may not always see the path ahead, but God is asking you to trust the process. This is not a time to look around and compare yourself to others. It's not about what other people are doing or where they're going. It's about where God is leading you. The divine appointment is personal. It is specific to you and your unique calling. The steps God is calling you to take may seem unconventional or even uncertain, but remember this: He is faithful. As you walk in faith, He will continue to direct your steps and open doors that no one can shut. In the quiet of this moment, I want you to ask yourself this question: am I willing to trust God's timing completely? Are you ready to surrender your own timing, your own plans, and your own understanding, and allow God to lead you into the next phase of your purpose? God is inviting you to step into a new season of alignment, where everything begins to fall into place as you walk in step with His will. I understand that waiting can sometimes feel uncomfortable, even frustrating. There are times when you feel like you've been waiting forever, and the breakthrough seems so far off. But I want you to know that your breakthrough is on the horizon, and God is positioning you for it. The call to remain calm is not just about staying still, it's about staying rooted in faith. Your calmness will be the foundation from which you can launch into this new season. In Isaiah 40:31, God promises, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This is the promise for you, chosen one. As you remain calm, as you align yourself with God's timing, your strength will be renewed. You will run with endurance, and the momentum of divine alignment will carry you into the breakthrough that God has prepared for you. So, chosen one, as you listen to this divine appointment, I encourage you to embrace the shift that is happening in your life. Stay calm, remain rooted in God's peace, and trust that He is guiding you every step of the way. You were drawn here for a reason. This is not a coincidence. God is preparing you for the next season of your life, and it's time to step into the divine calling He has placed on your heart. Chosen one, as we continue this journey together, I want to take you deeper into the understanding of divine protection and spiritual warfare. You may have experienced moments in life where it felt like everything was against you, where it seemed like the odds were stacked higher than you could ever overcome. But let me remind you, the protection of God has been over you from the very beginning. Even in those moments when you didn't understand why things were happening, God was fighting for you. Heaven was moving on your behalf, protecting you from dangers and attacks you couldn't see. You've walked through battles, both seen and unseen, and you may have felt the weight of the spiritual warfare around you. But here's the truth. you were never left unprotected. While you were unaware of the spiritual forces at work, God's hand of protection was surrounding you, ensuring that no weapon formed against you would prosper. God has been shielding you, keeping you safe, and guiding you through every storm, whether or not you could feel it at the time. There are things happening in the spiritual realm that you might not see with your natural eyes. The enemy has been working behind the scenes, trying to derail your purpose and destroy your peace. But God's protection is constant, and it was never meant for you to face these battles alone. Even when you didn't realize it, God was fighting for you, intercepting every plan of the enemy aimed at your destiny. I want you to think about a time in your life when you felt overwhelmed or unsure of your path. Perhaps it seemed like everything around you was falling apart, like you were facing challenges that were impossible to overcome. In those moments, you might not have seen God's hand at work, but He was there, working on your behalf. What seemed like a setback, what seemed like an obstacle, was often God's way of protecting you from something greater. The attacks you thought were meant to break, you were actually serving as stepping stones, preparing you for the greater purpose He had in store. You see, the enemy works in the shadows. He uses deceit, manipulation, and even those closest to you to try to bring you down. But God's protection is not passive. It is active, it is intentional, and it is powerful. Even when you couldn't see it, God was blocking the attacks, closing doors that were meant to harm you, and opening doors that led you closer to your destiny. Let me share this with you, chosen one. You are not as vulnerable as you think. The enemy has tried to make you feel exposed, weak, or unprotected. He's tried to make you question your worth and doubt God's plan for your life. But I want you to know that you are surrounded by divine protection. When the enemy tries to throw his fiery darts at you, God is standing in between you and the attack, shielding you with His grace and power. In Psalm 91:4, we are told, "He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge." This verse is a picture of God's protection over you. He covers you, like a mother bird protecting her young. God's wings are a symbol of His divine care, His ability to keep you safe no matter what comes against you. Even when you are unaware, He is guarding your heart, your mind, and your spirit. Every time you rise, every time you face a challenge, you are not facing it alone. God's presence surrounds you, and His angels are fighting on your behalf. I know it can be hard to believe this when you're in the midst of a struggle. When things aren't going well, it can feel like you are on your own. But remember, what you see in the physical world is not always the full story. God is working in the unseen, in the spiritual realm, orchestrating everything according to His perfect will for your life. The enemy may try to attack your peace, your joy, your relationships, or your health, but God is always one step ahead. He's intercepting every plot and ensuring that you are safe in His arms. Think about the woman in your life who once seemed like an ally. Perhaps she was close to you, someone you trusted, someone you shared your life with. Over time, however, you began to notice subtle shifts, things that didn't quite add up. Maybe she was no longer the support you thought she was. Behind the smiles and kind words, there was an agenda at work, one that was hidden in plain sight. The enemy doesn't always use loud, obvious attacks. Sometimes, he works through the people closest to you, trying to manipulate situations and sow seeds of discord. But here's what I want you to understand. Even in those moments, God was covering you. When it felt like things were unraveling, or when you couldn't see the truth clearly, God was always protecting you. What she meant for harm, God used for your protection. You may not have seen it at the time, but God was blocking the enemy's plans. The very things she tried to do against you were dismantled before they could ever take root. Every scheme, every subtle manipulation was intercepted by heaven. This is where divine protection is powerful. It doesn't always look like the enemy's attacks are being thwarted right in front of you. Sometimes, it's only in hindsight that you realize how close you came to disaster. It's only when you look back that you can see how God was working behind the scenes to keep you safe, to keep you on course, and to protect your destiny. You were never alone in those battles. God's angels were encamped around you, protecting you from harm, guiding you, and ensuring that no weapon formed against you would prosper. In Isaiah 54:17, it says, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue which rises against you in judgment you shall condemn." This is a promise that no matter how the enemy tries to attack you, whether through people, circumstances, or spiritual warfare, God's protection is greater. No weapon formed against you will prosper, and every judgment that rises against you will be silenced. God's justice will prevail. This verse is not just a promise of protection, it is a declaration of victory. God fights your battles. When you feel weak, when you feel overwhelmed, know that God is standing in the gap for you. He is the one who makes sure the enemy's plans do not come to fruition. Even when you don't see it, He is intervening on your behalf, making sure that you are kept safe in His care. Chosen one. As we continue, I want you to reflect on the profound reality that God's protection over you is both unseen and unshakable. There are moments when we face challenges, and we can feel the weight of spiritual warfare pressing in. But in the middle of it all, God has always been with you. His protection never fails. Even when the battle rages and the enemy seems to be working behind the scenes, God has been fighting for you. What I want you to understand deeply in this part of your journey is that God's protection over your life is not passive, it's active, intentional, and powerful. There is a spiritual realm that we don't always see, but it's there, influencing the physical world in ways we cannot fully comprehend. God sees what you cannot see, and He acts on your behalf in the spiritual realm, blocking attacks, intercepting plans, and shielding you from harm. There's an incredible truth in the words of Psalm 34:7, where it says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear Him, and He delivers them." This verse paints a powerful picture of divine protection. Angels, assigned specifically to you, stand guard around your life. They are not just passive observers. They are actively working to defend you, to guard you, and to intervene on your behalf when the enemy tries to strike. The very fact that you are still standing, still moving forward, despite everything the enemy has thrown at you, is evidence that heaven's protection has never left your side. When you are unaware of the spiritual attacks coming your way, when you feel spiritually weary or confused, God's angels are still fighting in the background. They are dismantling the enemy's weapons before they can touch you. God's hand of protection is constantly moving, making sure that you are shielded from the harm the enemy tries to cause. Have you ever experienced a moment where something could have gone terribly wrong, but somehow you were protected? Maybe it was an accident you narrowly avoided, or a situation that could have spiraled into chaos, but you emerged untouched. These moments, though we may not always recognize them as divine interventions, are testaments to God's active protection. The very fact that you've made it this far, despite the many battles you've faced, is proof that God has been shielding you. But here's the important truth. God's protection is not just for the obvious attacks. He also guards you in ways that are invisible to the human eye. There are forces at work, spiritual attacks designed to derail your destiny, and God's protection is what keeps you from even realizing the danger. He shields you from things that could have destroyed you, things that you never saw coming. Think about a time in your life when you felt vulnerable or exposed, when it seemed like everything was crumbling around you. The enemy may have been whispering lies, trying to pull you into despair, trying to make you feel abandoned or worthless. But God's protection never left. Even in the moments when you couldn't see it, He was there, surrounding you with His divine cover. He was fighting off the attacks you couldn't see and intercepting every plot designed to harm you. In Exodus 14:14, the Lord promises, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." This verse is a profound reminder of God's active protection. There are battles you don't need to fight, because God is already fighting them for you. You are not in this alone. When the enemy tries to overwhelm you, when he comes at you with fear, doubt, or confusion, you can rest in the assurance that God is defending you. Your job is to trust, to remain still in His presence, and to allow Him to fight on your behalf. And this protection isn't just about blocking physical harm. It's also about protecting your heart, your mind, and your spirit. The enemy's ultimate goal is not just to cause physical harm, but to wear down your faith, to steal your peace, and to make you doubt God's goodness. But God's protection is a covering over your spirit. No weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The enemy might try to plant seeds of fear, anxiety, or anger, but God will protect your heart from these attacks, preventing them from taking root. He guards your spirit and shields you from the lies of the enemy. You might be asking, how can I be sure of God's protection? Let me reassure you with Psalm 91:11, which says, "For He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways." God has given His angels charge over you, and they are actively working to protect you. They stand guard, making sure that no weapon can touch you, no harm can come your way, and no attack can break through. God's divine protection is surrounding you every single day, even when you can't see it, even when you're unaware. In fact, there are moments when you are facing challenges, and the enemy is trying to stir confusion, doubt, or even illness, and you may feel like you're walking through it on your own. But God is constantly watching over you. When your strength is running low, when your faith feels shaken, He is there, lifting you up, holding you steady. Every time you rise in faith, despite the obstacles, you are walking in the strength God is providing for you. As you walk through this journey, remember this: you are not vulnerable to the attacks of the enemy. God has shielded you in ways that are beyond your comprehension. What you see as struggles are actually God's ways of preparing you, not just physically, but spiritually as well. He's teaching you how to trust Him more, how to lean into His protection, and how to rest in the assurance that He has already gone before you. Even in times of spiritual warfare, when the enemy may be trying to provoke you, mislead you, or cause doubt in your heart, God is still fighting for you. He sees everything that's happening behind the scenes, and He's already at work intercepting the plans of the enemy. The moment you feel overwhelmed or under attack, remember that God's protection surrounds you like a shield, keeping you safe from harm and guarding your heart from the lies and deceit of the enemy. Chosen one, as we move into the deeper understanding of divine justice, I want you to reflect on the powerful truth that God's justice is always at work, even when it appears to be delayed or hidden. Divine justice doesn't always manifest in the way we expect. It often operates in the unseen, working silently behind the scenes to bring about what is right, to bring correction, and to restore balance where there has been injustice. In this chapter, we will explore the hidden harvest of justice, the truth that what was done in the darkness will eventually be brought to light, and God's hand of justice will prevail in your life. There are moments in life when it feels like everything is stacked against you, when it seems like those who wrong you get away with their actions, and the enemy appears to have the upper hand. But let me tell you this: God sees everything. Every injustice, every lie, every harmful intention, every attack that has been aimed at your life, He sees it all. And He is faithful to bring about justice in His time. I want you to understand that God's justice is not simply about punishing the guilty. It's about restoring what was lost, aligning things with His righteousness, and bringing peace to those who have been wronged. Justice in God's kingdom is restorative, not retributive. It brings healing and resolution, even when we feel like our pain has been unnoticed or dismissed by the world. In Psalm 37:28, we are reminded, "For the Lord loves the just, and will not forsake His faithful ones." God is deeply invested in your well-being, in the fairness of your journey, and in ensuring that His plans for your life are not thwarted by the schemes of the enemy or the deceit of those around you. The protection you've been experiencing, the unseen covering that has been keeping you, is a testimony of God's divine justice working in the background, ensuring that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Consider the woman in your life who once walked closely with you, someone who seemed supportive, someone you trusted. She might have seemed like an ally, offering encouragement or kindness, but behind the scenes, something darker was at work. She may have been influenced by envy, jealousy, or a desire for something you had, something that she did not earn but wanted to take from you. Her motives, hidden in plain sight, were not as pure as they seemed. Her actions, though subtle, were part of a spiritual attack aimed at undermining your peace and purpose. But here's where divine justice comes in. Nothing that is hidden will stay hidden forever. God sees every thought, every action, and every intention. While she believed her plans were secret, heaven was already at work, intercepting her schemes before they could reach you. Even when you were unaware of the attack, God was fighting on your behalf, ensuring that the plans of the enemy would not succeed in your life. In Galatians 6-7, the Bible reminds us, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." This powerful truth speaks directly to the woman whose hidden intentions have been uncovered. She thought she could manipulate, deceive, and control without consequence. But God's justice is always in motion, even when we can't see it. What she has sown in darkness, what she thought would remain unseen, will be exposed for what it truly is. Divine justice is not swift because it is cruel, but because it is thorough and perfect. You see, God's justice operates on a spiritual level. While the enemy might have planted seeds of discord, deceit, or manipulation, God is allowing those seeds to bear fruit in a way that will make things right. The harvest that is coming is not one of destruction or vengeance, but of restoration and vindication. Her suffering is not for you to gloat over, but a result of her own actions. God's justice isn't about revenge. It's about aligning the world to His divine will and ensuring that the innocent are protected, that the broken are healed, and that the truth is revealed. I know it may be tempting to want to confront the person who has wronged you, to seek revenge or justice on your own terms, but God is asking you to trust His process. He has already seen what has been done in secret. He has already seen the plots and plans that were meant to bring you harm. And He is already at work to bring about divine justice in His time. Your role is to remain faithful, to trust in God's timing, and to stand firm in your peace. God's justice is not always instant, but it is perfectly timed. You may not see the full picture right now, and that's okay. God is working on your behalf, even when you can't see it. The moment will come when the truth is revealed, when the enemy's plans are exposed, and when you see the justice that God has been preparing for you. And when that moment comes, you will realize that the waiting, the patience, and the trust in God were all part of His perfect plan to restore what was lost and bring you into a new season of favor. In Romans 12:19, Paul tells us, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge, I will repay,' says the Lord." This is a powerful reminder that God is the one who fights for you, and His justice will be far greater than anything you could seek on your own. When you trust God to fight your battles, you are releasing the weight of those struggles into His hands, knowing that He will handle them in a way that honors His perfect justice. Now, let's pause for a moment and reflect on this. The enemy tried to destroy you, to derail your purpose, but God's protection has always been around you. Every attack that has come against you, every lie, every scheme, every manipulation, was intercepted by God's divine covering. You are not a victim in this battle. You are a victor, and you are walking in divine protection. What you may not have realized is that God has been working behind the scenes to shield you from attacks you couldn't even see. He has been preparing you for this moment of divine revelation, when the truth will come to light, when the enemy's tactics will be exposed, and when you will see firsthand how God's justice has been at work in your life. Chosen one, as we continue to uncover the hidden truths behind divine justice, I want you to recognize that what you are witnessing in your life, especially in the moments of betrayal, struggle, and even frustration is not random. God's justice is real, and it unfolds in the most powerful ways. While it may seem that the enemy's schemes against you have been successful, I want you to understand that everything that has been done in darkness will be brought to light. God is working behind the scenes to bring justice, and He is already positioning you for the restoration you've been waiting for. The woman who once seemed close to you, who once shared your trust and walked alongside you, has been part of this spiritual battle. Her actions were not only against you, but they were part of a greater plot, a plot that she may have believed was secret, that she thought could never be uncovered. But heaven always sees. Every scheme, every hidden intention, every manipulation is exposed before God, and justice will prevail. Her suffering, her downfall, is not for you to gloat over. This is God's justice unfolding, and it is not for your vindication but for your understanding and peace. The seeds she planted in secret are now beginning to bear fruit, but this fruit is not the fruit of her desires, it is the consequence of her actions. In Galatians 6-7, the word says, "Do not be deceived, God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows." This is not just a warning, it is a promise of justice. She sowed seeds of manipulation, deceit, and envy, and now she is beginning to reap the consequences. What she thought was hidden in the dark has come into the light, and the very thing she plotted against you has turned back upon her. But here's the thing to remember. This is not about revenge. This is about God's perfect justice at work. In Romans 12:19 we are told, "Do not take revenge, my dear friends, but leave room for God's wrath, for it is written, 'It is mine to avenge. I will repay,' says the Lord." It's hard in moments like this, when you see someone who has wronged you, suffering the consequences of their actions, to know what to do. God is asking you to trust Him with the vengeance. Your role is not to repay her in kind, but to rest in the knowledge that God is the one who fights your battles. The enemy may have tried to manipulate situations, to cause division and harm, but God is sovereign over it all. His justice is not motivated by anger, but by a deep desire to see all things align with His perfect will. What you've experienced is not just about what others have done to you, it is about what God is doing in you. The trials, the struggles, and the betrayals you've faced have been used to strengthen you, to refine your character, and to prepare you for the blessings that are coming your way. God is using even the darkest moments to bring about the brightest transformation. You might be wondering, why is God allowing this to happen? Why does it seem like some people go unchecked, causing harm and walking away unscathed? God's justice operates on a different timeline than ours. What might seem like a delay is actually God giving space for repentance, healing, and redemption. And even when it seems that justice is delayed, rest assured that God will make all things right in the end. The woman who once tried to manipulate your life, who fed on your light in the shadows, thought she could get away with it. She believed she could hide behind masks of kindness and loyalty while sowing seeds of destruction in your life. But no one can hide from God's truth. In the same way that the light exposes the darkness, divine justice exposes the truth. What was hidden in secret is now being uncovered. Her actions have come full circle, and now she is experiencing the consequences of what she sowed. But here's where the truth becomes powerful. You are not caught in this web of destruction. You are protected. God has kept you covered, even when you couldn't see it. While she plotted, God was shielding you. When she thought she had outsmarted you, God was already at work in the unseen, making sure that no weapon formed against you would prosper. You have been divinely protected, and that protection is evident in every step you've taken. Now, I want to make something clear. Divine justice doesn't mean that the other person's suffering is for your enjoyment. This is not an invitation to celebrate someone else's pain or downfall. Instead, it is a reminder that God's justice is righteous, and He is the one who ultimately ensures that His plan for your life unfolds. Justice is not about gloating over someone's misfortune. It's about recognizing that God has preserved you and that His hand is at work, even when you don't fully understand how. I understand it's hard to watch someone who has wronged you face the consequences of their actions. The human side of us might want to shout, "Finally, they're getting what they deserve." But I urge you to see this from God's perspective. God's justice brings healing, restoration, and peace. His heart is not to harm anyone, but to bring everyone to a place of repentance and alignment with His will. Even in this moment of justice unfolding, God's grace is present. He desires the restoration of all hearts, and His justice is a reminder that He will always protect His own. Your job, chosen one, is to remain focused on your path. Do not let her actions, her consequences, or her suffering distract you from what God has called you to do. This moment of divine justice is for you to see the evidence that God has been protecting you all along, even in moments when you didn't realize the depth of the spiritual battle around you. The protection you've experienced has been supernatural. Every attack against your destiny, every lie, every scheme, has been thwarted by God's angels, who have been standing guard over your life, keeping you safe and moving forward. God's justice is not only about judgment, it is about vindication. It is about the truth being revealed and His protection being made manifest. This is your moment to witness how God's hand has been at work in your life. The things that once seemed to be out of your control, the situations that felt like setbacks or obstacles, are now becoming clear. God is showing you how He has been working behind the scenes, shielding you, guiding you, and ensuring that no weapon formed against you will prosper. Chosen one, as we continue our journey together, it's important to focus on something truly foundational to your walk with God: His divine protection over your life. It's easy to go about our daily lives and take for granted the safety and peace that surrounds us. Yet, if we truly understood how much divine protection God has placed around us, we would be in constant awe. God's favor and protection have been upon you from the very beginning, even when you couldn't see it. You've been walking through challenges, fighting battles that sometimes you didn't even know you were fighting. God has been there the entire time, shielding you from dangers you couldn't see, from plans designed to harm you, and from the attacks of the enemy that were meant to derail you. His protection has been constant, His favor has been relentless, and even in moments when it seemed like you were alone, you were never uncovered. God's hand has been around you, guiding you, and keeping you safe. There are times in life when we face struggles that seem impossible, moments when it feels like we're being attacked from all sides. But God's divine protection is a shield that surrounds you, and it is active. It's not just a passive force. God is actively guarding you. His angels are stationed around you, and His presence is constantly working to keep you secure. Every time you face a battle, you are not facing it alone. You are not vulnerable, as the enemy would like you to believe. God's protection is a mighty fortress surrounding you, keeping you secure and safe under His wings. Think back on times in your life when you faced situations that could have taken you out, but you somehow made it through. Maybe there were physical battles, emotional storms, or spiritual warfare that seemed overwhelming. And yet, you are still here, standing strong. That is divine protection at work. Even when you couldn't see the danger, God was standing in the gap, fighting for you, and making sure that no weapon formed against you could prosper. In Psalm 91:4, we are promised, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings, you will find refuge. This beautiful imagery paints a picture of God's protection like that of a mother bird sheltering her young under her wings. God's protection is not just a physical covering. It's a spiritual refuge where you can find rest, peace, and security. No matter the storm you face, no matter the battle raging around you, you are safe in God's presence. It's crucial to remember that God's protection is not just for the big, obvious attacks. It's for the quiet, unseen battles as well. There are forces at work in the spiritual realm that we cannot always see with our natural eyes. The enemy is constantly trying to sabotage your destiny, to plant fear, doubt, and confusion in your mind. But God is already fighting those battles for you, intercepting attacks before they ever reach you. You might not always recognize the danger, but God sees it all. He is working in the unseen, keeping you safe, protecting your heart, and guiding your steps, even when the path ahead seems unclear. God's divine protection doesn't just keep you safe from physical harm, it also shields your mind and spirit from the attacks of the enemy. Have you ever had a moment when you felt spiritually weary, emotionally drained, or mentally overwhelmed? Those moments are often where the enemy seeks to break your focus and derail your faith. But God is actively protecting your peace. He surrounds your heart and mind with His peace that surpasses all understanding, keeping you rooted and anchored in His love. In Philippians 4-7, we are reminded, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace is a divine protection that guards your inner world. It keeps you calm, even in the most chaotic of circumstances. When everything around you feels out of control, God's peace is what stabilizes you, what keeps you grounded, and what reminds you that He is in control. This divine protection extends to every area of your life. God's favor has been surrounding you, even when you weren't aware of it. It's easy to forget that His protection isn't just about keeping you safe from external harm. His protection is about ensuring that you walk in alignment with His will, that your purpose is protected, and that every attack against your destiny is intercepted. Every time the enemy tried to mislead you, to manipulate your path, to steal your joy, God's hand of protection blocked it. The enemy wants you to think that you're vulnerable, that you're exposed, or that you're walking through life without God's help. But that's a lie. You are not vulnerable. You are covered. God's protection is so comprehensive that it shields you in ways you cannot even fully comprehend. He watches over you in your sleep, in your work, in your relationships. He's covering you in the seen and the unseen, ensuring that His plan for your life cannot be thwarted. But there's an even deeper level of protection that God provides: the protection of your destiny. The enemy doesn't just want to hurt you. He wants to disrupt the call on your life, to steal the purpose that God has for you. He wants to use fear, discouragement, and distraction to pull you off course. But God is protecting your purpose. Every time the enemy tries to derail you, God's protection keeps you aligned with your calling. Every time you feel distracted, uncertain, or confused, God's hand is there, guiding you back to the path He has prepared for you. In Jeremiah 29-11, God reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you, and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." God's plan for your life is covered by His protection. Your destiny is sealed. The enemy may try to create obstacles, but God is constantly positioning you to fulfill His purpose. His protection is not just about keeping you safe from harm, it's about ensuring that His divine will for your life is carried out, no matter what. So, chosen one, take comfort in knowing that you are always under divine protection. Whether you are aware of it or not, God's angels are standing guard. His peace is surrounding you, and His favor is shielding your steps. You are not walking alone. God's presence is with you, guiding you, protecting you, and preparing you for what comes next. No matter what you face, you are covered. God has already gone before you, and He is preparing the way. Chosen one, as we continue to explore the incredible truth of God's divine protection, I want you to grasp just how deeply God's favor covers your life. You are not only protected from the enemy's attacks, but you are also held in a place of favor that aligns you with God's purpose and His blessings. Divine protection is not just about avoiding harm. It's about God positioning you for success, ensuring that you walk in alignment with His plan, and guiding your steps toward victory. God's favor is not just something you experience when things are going well. It's something that is active and powerful, protecting you even in moments of uncertainty, doubt, or spiritual warfare. God's favor is like a shield, surrounding you on every side, guiding you through obstacles, and ensuring that no harm can come near you without His permission. In Psalm 23-6, we are reminded that, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. This is not just a poetic phrase, it's a powerful declaration of God's protective favor. Goodness and mercy will follow you, wherever you go. Even when you don't see it, God's goodness is working on your behalf, bringing blessings, opportunities, and divine connections into your life. And His mercy, His unmerited favor covers every area where you fall short. God's favor is always with you, ensuring that you remain aligned with His will, even in times when you feel weak or uncertain. One of the most significant ways God protects you is by guiding your decisions. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of the world, to follow your own instincts, or to seek advice from the wrong places. But God's favor goes before you, and He is directing your steps even when you are unaware of it. Every decision you make, when you are aligned with God's will, becomes a step toward His purpose for your life. Even when you don't know the way, God's favor is like a compass, gently guiding you to the right place at the right time. In Proverbs 3:5-6, we are encouraged, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." When you place your trust in God, when you align your heart with His, He will guide your steps and make sure your path is secure. His protection is active, ensuring that you don't stray from the purpose He has set for you. Even in moments of uncertainty, His favor is there, ensuring that you are always moving in the direction of His will. You may not always see the full picture. You may not understand why certain doors have closed, or why things haven't gone according to your plan. But God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail to align you with His purpose. There's an undeniable truth that God's protection is not just for your safety, but for your purpose. He is keeping you on the right track, even when it feels like the world is trying to knock you off course. This protection is not only about keeping you safe from physical harm, it's about protecting your calling, protecting your heart, and making sure that nothing will deter you from the destiny that God has laid out for you. The enemy may try to shake your faith, to distract you with fear, or to cause confusion in your life. But God's favor is stronger than any attack the enemy can send your way. He is holding you firmly in His grip, guiding you through every trial, and ensuring that nothing can harm the plans He has for you. In Isaiah 41:10, God promises, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This promise of protection is not just about avoiding harm, it's about God's active involvement in your life. When you face challenges, God is there to strengthen you, to give you the wisdom and clarity you need, and to hold you up when you feel weak. God's protection is not passive, it is active, ensuring that you are upheld, strengthened, and guided through every situation. But here's the most beautiful part of all of this. God's protection is not just about keeping you safe. It's about positioning you for success in His plan for your life. His favor goes beyond just shielding you from harm. It's about aligning you with the right opportunities, relationships, and breakthroughs. God's favor makes a way where there seems to be no way, opening doors that you couldn't have opened on your own and guiding you toward the plans He has for you. In Luke 1:37, we are reminded, "For no word from God will ever fail." God's promises to you are sure. His protection over your life is sure. He has spoken over your future, and His word will not fail. Even when it seems like obstacles are in your way, God's favor is greater. He is clearing the path before you, guiding you toward the blessings He has prepared. I want to encourage you today, chosen one, to walk boldly in the knowledge of God's divine protection. You are not vulnerable. You are not at the mercy of the enemy's schemes. God's favor surrounds you like a shield, and His protection is covering every area of your life. Even when you don't see it, even when you don't understand it, God is working for your good. When you wake up every day, know that God's angels are surrounding you, that His favor is guiding you, and that His protection is over every step you take. The enemy may try to deceive you into thinking you are alone, But the truth is, you are not alone. God's favor has been with you, guiding you every step of the way, and He will continue to protect you as you move forward in His plan. Chosen one. We have come to the pivotal moment in your journey, the moment of breakthrough and divine acceleration. After all the seasons of waiting, of quiet preparation, and of trusting God's timing, this is the time when everything you've been waiting for begins to unfold. You are not just surviving anymore. You are stepping into a new season of favor, breakthrough, and purpose. The waiting is over, and the doors that once seemed closed are now swinging wide open. You are stepping into the blessings that God has been preparing for you. I know you've walked through many challenges, fought many battles, and faced many obstacles. At times, it might have seemed like the breakthroughs were always just out of reach, and the promises felt distant. But this is the season where God is about to activate what you've been waiting for. You are no longer just existing in a state of preparation. You are now stepping into divine alignment, and as you do, everything that has been delayed is about to accelerate toward you. God has been preparing you for this moment, and now that you are aligned with His purpose, everything is about to move at an accelerated pace. What you've been waiting for is coming to you faster than you can imagine. The breakthroughs that you have prayed for, the doors you've knocked on, the relationships you've been hoping for, everything is aligning. You've been faithful in the waiting, and now you are about to see the fruit of that patience. In Psalm 65:11, the Lord promises, "You crown the year with your goodness, and your paths drip with abundance." God is crowning this year with goodness, and you are stepping into a season where His favor is being poured out in abundance. Your path is now dripping with the blessings that God has been preparing for you. The delays are over. The season of waiting is behind you. You are entering the season of divine acceleration. You may be wondering, what does divine acceleration look like? It means that things will begin to happen faster than you expected. Where you once saw obstacles, you will now see opportunities. Where you once felt stuck, you will now feel a new momentum pushing you forward. Divine acceleration doesn't just mean things happen quickly. It means that everything is coming into divine alignment. What once seemed out of reach is now drawing closer. And what once felt delayed is now being released. In Isaiah 60:22, God promises, "When the time is right, I, the Lord, will make it happen." The time for your breakthrough is now. The time for your alignment is now. What you've been waiting for is moving toward you at a speed that will leave you in awe. The pace is accelerating, and God is bringing everything into place at just the right moment. I want you to think about the promises God has given you, the dreams He has placed in your heart. This is the season when those promises will be activated. No longer will you be waiting for something to happen. You will now be walking in the manifestation of those promises. Doors that seemed locked are about to open wide. Opportunities that once felt distant are now coming within reach. Relationships that were strained or broken are now being restored. Your next season is a season of divine activation. God is not just moving in your life. He is activating His promises in real time. Acceleration means that things will happen quickly, but they will also happen in God's perfect timing. You will not need to rush, you will not need to manipulate situations, and you will not need to force anything. Everything will unfold in divine alignment. God's hand is upon you, and He is guiding every step you take as you enter this season of acceleration. You may have been in a season where things felt slow, where progress felt like it was stalling, and where you were questioning if anything would ever change. But I want you to know that every season of delay was preparing you for this moment. Every struggle you faced, every prayer you prayed, every step of obedience you took has been leading you to this breakthrough. Now, God is about to accelerate your life, bringing everything into alignment for the next phase of your journey. In Habakkuk 2-3, we read, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." The vision God has given you is not delayed forever. It is coming at the appointed time. And now is that time. The time for waiting is over. What God has promised you is on its way, and it will come at the appointed time. Divine acceleration is happening now, and you are stepping into the manifestation of everything God has been preparing you for. But let me caution you, with divine acceleration comes the need for spiritual readiness. As the pace picks up, it's important to stay grounded in your faith. You may feel like everything is moving so quickly, and it's easy to become overwhelmed. But in these moments, you must remind yourself to stay focused on God's presence. Trust His timing, trust His guidance, and keep your eyes fixed on His purpose for your life. God is accelerating you into His will, and your role is to stay aligned with His plan. Think of it this way: God is opening doors, but those doors will require you to walk through them. Divine acceleration doesn't mean that things will fall into your lap effortlessly. It means that you will see opportunities align with you faster than before, but you still have to walk through them with faith, boldness, and courage. God is giving you the momentum, but it's up to you to step into the fullness of what He's preparing for you. In the midst of this acceleration, there is one thing that you must hold on to with all your heart. Trust in God's timing. The pace may feel fast, but remember, God's speed is different from the world's speed. What may seem like a sudden shift is really the culmination of everything He's been doing in your life. Trust that God is aligning things in your favor, and when the time is right, you will see His blessings unfold at an accelerated pace. Your role is to keep moving forward, step by step, trusting that He is working in every detail. Divine acceleration doesn't mean rushing. It means moving in sync with God's timing. You may feel like things are happening faster than you expected, but trust that it's not a race. God is leading you into the next season of your life, and He is doing so in perfect timing. Stay aligned with His will, stay grounded in your faith, and most importantly, stay in His peace. Divine acceleration is not a time to be anxious, but a time to walk in faith, knowing that God is the one opening the doors and making everything fall into place. As you walk forward in trust, you will see that everything you've waited for, everything you've prayed for, is coming to you with speed, precision, and divine favor. Chosen one, the season of waiting and preparation has passed, and now you are stepping into a season of activation and acceleration. Everything you've been waiting for, praying for, and working toward is about to unfold before you. God is moving you into your next season, one of divine breakthrough, favor, and purpose. The moment of acceleration is not a future event. It is happening right now. You've been faithful through the waiting periods, enduring hardship, holding on to promises even when they seemed far off. But now is the time for those promises to manifest, and everything is about to happen much faster than you could have anticipated. What once seemed impossible is now becoming possible, and what felt delayed is about to rush toward you with divine speed. This is the moment you've been prepared for, and you are about to witness God's hand move in ways that will astonish you. God's favor is going before you, and His timing is perfect. Divine acceleration means that doors you've prayed for will begin to open, and opportunities will align in ways that can only be explained by God's hand at work. What was once out of reach will now be right in front of you, ready for you to step into. You will see an acceleration in areas of your life that once seemed stagnant or blocked, whether it's your career, relationships, health, or spiritual growth. God is moving you forward at a pace that will leave you amazed and in awe of His power. In Isaiah 43:19, God promises, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This is the new thing. This is the shift, the divine reset, the moment when everything you've been waiting for begins to fall into place. God is making a way where there seemed to be no way. The dry seasons are over, and new opportunities are beginning to spring up right in front of you. Now is the time to perceive it, to see it, to step into it. But here's the truth. Divine acceleration requires your participation. God is ready to open doors and bring His promises into fruition, but you must walk through those doors with faith, boldness, and a willingness to embrace what He is offering. God is opening the doors, but you must choose to step through them. You may feel a sense of urgency in your spirit, a pulling, a desire to move quickly, to act fast. And while that is natural in a season of acceleration, it's important to remember that God's pace is not rushed. It is precise and intentional. Even in the acceleration, God is guiding you step by step. You are moving forward, but you are moving in His timing, not your own. Trust that the pace He sets is the pace you are meant to go at. Don't rush ahead or get discouraged if things don't happen as quickly as you expected. God's perfect timing will ensure that you're right where you need to be when the doors open. The acceleration you're feeling is not about your own strength or effort. It's about God's power working in and through you. You've done the work. You've prayed, waited, and walked in obedience. Now, God is activating His plan for your life, and His divine power is pushing you forward into the season of breakthrough you've been longing for. This acceleration is not just about outward blessings. It's about spiritual growth and alignment with God's purpose. The breakthroughs you will experience are a direct result of your alignment with God's will. Every prayer, every act of faith, and every step of obedience has positioned you for what is coming. God is now aligning your heart, your mind, and your spirit with the blessings He's ready to pour out. As you enter this season of acceleration, it's important to maintain spiritual focus. While the doors are opening and things are moving quickly, your ability to remain focused on God's guidance will be key to successfully navigating the next phase of your life. Don't lose sight of what matters. Stay rooted in God's Word, stay grounded in prayer, and keep your heart aligned with His purposes. In moments of divine acceleration, it can be easy to get caught up in the excitement or overwhelmed by the rapid pace. But remember, your peace is found in His presence. And in His presence, you will have the clarity and wisdom needed to move forward with confidence. God is bringing you into a season of divine compensation, where everything you've lost, everything you've endured, will be restored and multiplied. This is a time of divine recompense. In Joel 2:25, God promises, "I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten." What you've lost or endured in previous seasons, whether it be time, resources, relationships, or opportunities, will be restored, and not just restored, multiplied. The pain you've endured, the battles you've fought, are about to be compensated by God's abundance. You've been faithful through the waiting. Now you are stepping into a season where God is going to give back what the enemy has stolen. He is going to multiply your blessings, and you will see the fruits of your labor, the prayers you've prayed, and the seeds you've sown come to fruition. This is the season of divine recompense, and the rewards of your patience, perseverance, and faithfulness are about to be revealed in ways that will astonish you. As God accelerates His work in your life, you will begin to see changes in your circumstances, relationships, and even in your heart. He's clearing away what no longer serves you, removing what's holding you back, and opening new doors of opportunity. Embrace the changes. Know that they are not just coincidences, they are God's divine plan unfolding before your eyes. There may be moments when the changes feel uncomfortable or when they challenge your current way of thinking, but remember, God is moving you into something greater. He is aligning you with His purposes, and sometimes that requires stepping outside your comfort zone, facing new challenges, and learning new things. The acceleration you're feeling is God preparing you for the abundant future He has for you. Don't resist the changes, embrace them with faith and confidence, knowing that God is guiding you every step of the way. And as these changes unfold, I want you to remember one thing: you are not alone. God is right there with you, leading you, strengthening you, and empowering you to walk into this next season with boldness and grace. This is your time. Chosen one, you've been prepared for this moment, and now you are stepping into the fullness of God's blessings. Thank you so much for joining us on this divine journey today. If this message resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We want to keep spreading these life-changing insights to those who need it the most. Your support helps us reach more people, and together, we can create a wave of transformation that will ripple across the world. If you're ready to embrace the transformation that's unfolding in your life, let us know in the comments below. Remember, your breakthrough is coming, and we're here to walk with you every step of the way. Stay aligned, stay faith-filled, and see you in the next video.